You can let some of your personality come through on the slate. Because almost every self-tape, you have to do a slate as well.
Hi, I'm Alex DeLerma, and this is the Cinema Gym. If these videos are helping you and you want to see some more, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep this thing going. So, Patrick M.J. Finerty, welcome back to the Cinema Gym. The last time that I interviewed you, you came up with a really good topic. It's controversial a little bit.
A little. I
There's
hear
a little bit
both
of
sides of
conflict
it. That's true.
So that leads me to our next topic, which is self-tape versus in-person auditions.
Right.
I thought that everyone universally would feel like this is a good thing.
Well, okay, there are a few like commercial casting directors in particular. Dan Bell. He's got his own building that he owns there in Glendale, I guess. So he brings in actors even for the first audition. He wants to see it live. He wants to get a feel for them in the room.
Right.
Arlene Schuster-Goss, the same thing. She's there on Lancashire. She'll bring in people. But I'm going to say 19 out of 20, whether it's commercial or even theatrical. Now, it's self-tapes. I mean, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
Because it gives the control back to the actor.
Yeah.
You get to choose which take you want to send in. And you can do, half a dozen takes to get that best one.
Yeah.
Because when you used to have to go into the session, with the session runner and, you might get 2 takes and you weren't sure, you never got to see what your takes looked like. They said, okay, let's try one more, do it a little different. And then one of those 2 went off and that was it.
Right.
But when you're doing this at home, and by now, people have got enough lighting basics.
Right, you have a ring light
and
a blank wall.
Sure.
Or a backdrop.
And a good reader. And a reader can really help. Thank goodness I have Kathy. And she loves doing the off-camera reading stuff. She gets a big kick out of it.
Yeah.
She hates the on-camera stuff. When they need real couples, she's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do my hair. I don't want to dress.
Right.
But having a good off-camera reader, and again, you can do a subtle little take. You could do a big one.
Just keep doing it again and again and again.
Exactly. And you get 2 or 3 that you like. And a lot of times they'll say, send us 2 options.
Yeah.
And
you're preaching to the choir.
right. Exactly. I know.
But now I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate.
Please do.
What I've heard from the other side, and I've actually tried to convert someone.
Okay. To our way of thinking.
I laid hands.
Sure.
But it didn't work.
Yeah.
And look at this person made a very good point. They're like, I want to be able to walk into the room.
Yeah.
I want to be able to feel the energy of the room. I want to be able to make a connection. And I think that's a legitimate. It's a legitimate argument if you're someone with that superpower.
Okay. Right.
And there are people, Jesse Corti, who's been on the podcast. I hired that guy. The first time I hired that guy, when I had my loop group, he was my go-to guy because I didn't know him from Adam. He walked into the room. He just connected with me. He came in. He made me feel relaxed. He was funny. And we got each other instantly. And I've seen him do that and every time that I would hire him, and I would see him have that same effect. By the way, Jesse, I'm expecting that, 20% gratuity soon. But I would see, that's the kind of guy that walks into the room and is comfortable in that element. I would argue, I don't have any data to support it, but based on all the coachings and the actors, most actors don't have that. They don't.
Yeah.
They can develop it over time. But again, maybe there's certainly something to that. If you have that skill or it's part of your personality,
You can let some of your personality come through on the slate. Because almost every self-tape, you have to do a slate as well.
Right.
And, you're not going to do a 2-minute slate. I mean, you've got 10 seconds and that's it. That's the point at which maybe you can, let some of the personality come through.
Sure.
And more often than not, even if you do a self-tape on the initial audition, the callback tends to be live, usually.
Well, you got live
Zoom.
There's, and Angelica, who's back there, we did people can find it. You could scroll through and find the thumbnail with Angelica, where we did the Zoom. What was the title of that? It was the Zoom callback or virtual callbacks. And how to kind of deal with that. That's weird.
Yeah.
To me, and that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
In that case, yes, I think in the room is essential.
I
I would never hire somebody.
I am always surprised
that
when
I
directors
couldn't meet
do
somebody
that.
in person.
And they don't make that connection.
But in terms of efficiency
Sure.
and being able to see more people, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Right.
When they start the scene, there's no way I'm going to cut them off. And if it's a 4-minute scene, and from the minute they open their mouth, I know.
Not right. Yeah, that's
And
right.
now I have to just like bite my tongue and go, okay, let them get through it. Let them get through it. All right, thank you very much. But at home, I can go like that.
5 seconds.
And I'm telling you, in 5-10 seconds,
That's right.
casting directors know.
Yeah.
You know. There are times where, with the limited amount of casting that I've done,
Sure.
a few films other than my own, right? Where, okay, this person's interesting. They kind of got warmed up. I see it. But it's by the time I've seen 40, 50 people, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Okay, next.
And every casting director I've ever talked with says in the first 5 to 10 seconds,
Yeah.
watching that, I can make a
Yeah,
decision
yeah.
either this is going to work or not for this project, maybe for something else down the road.
And guess what?
Yeah.
You just gave me my next topic.
What's that? You're auditioning not just for this job, but for any number of jobs.
It's how do you nail that first 10 seconds, that first
Right,
5 seconds,
exactly.
that first beat, that first moment. Listen, I got to start hiring you as a writer.
Okay.
You have great topics. Thanks for coming in the gym.
Alex, my pleasure.
All right.
Always great to catch up with you.
The Cinema Gym is all about helping you transition from the stage to the screen. If you're interested in classes, seminars, or private coaching, you can visit the website. Hope to see you in the gym soon.
thecinemagym.com for virtual one-on-one coaching for camera.